Good morning, everybody. Hello. Hey, it's Becky from Power Tools with Thread. You are in our Stitchuation room. This is a Monday through Friday virtual stitching retreat where you hang out in here with me and follow me on my sewing journey. And I hope I can inspire you to put something under the needle. Good morning, everybody in the chat. Hello. Great to see you guys here again. If you are new and you are with us live, please pop in the chat and say hello. We have a sunshine committee wandering around. We also have a virtual kitchen, and you are in it. It's just pretend. But on your way in to get some coffee, and I'm sure there's goodies in there, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe so we can spend more time together. Miss Frito hears me chattering right now. I'm going to give her a biscuit. I know I got to give you guys Frito time, but I'm going to have to pick up my laptop. So please bear with me. I don't have the camera set up that I do at home. There she is. There's my Frito. Your little eyes are glowing, sweetheart. There she is. Okay, that's the best I can do, y'all. I'm going to have to set you down. I can't hold the laptop and treat the dog at the same time. She hears me. She had a little bit of a belly problem yesterday. Too much. Well, I'll tell you what happened. There you go, baby. It's all my fault. For those of you who are new, yesterday was Frito's second gotcha birthday with us. She's a rescue. One more. That's it. Okay. And then after we had our little birthday celebration, then Nan is sending you hugs and belly rubs. Yes, sweet girl. Okay. Thank you, Nan. So go lay down. So after we left and got on the road and we got here and everything. Well, before we left, I was given one last look through the refrigerator and I said, oh, I forgot to pack the butter. So I took a stick and a quarter of a stick of butter and put it into the last bag that was going with me into the coach. So I just threw it on the couch, forgot about the butter completely. And then we got here, we got set up, and then it was about a 5-hour drive, 4.5, 5 hours. And then as soon as we got here, we had to go over to the rally room and sign in. We are with our motorhome club. So we had to go to the rally room, sign in, get all our goodies. And then we had dinner and whatnot and came back here and found Frito cleaning up the last of the butter wrappers. Both of them. So yesterday she ate a stick and a quarter of butter. It wasn't pretty. Let me tell you that much. It wasn't pretty. She spent her night in the bathroom on the tile floor as opposed to out in the coach with carpet. What a mess. So totally my fault. Bad mama dog. So anyway, she got up on the couch. Yeah, she got up on the couch. She smelled the butter, got her nose in. And I'm getting email notifications. I need to turn that off, and I don't know how. So pardon the dings. It's not your computer. It's mine. Yeah, I know. Y'all, 'tis the joys of owning a pet, right? Yes. It's totally my fault. The first one Keith took care of. The second one, he says, hey, Frito threw up again. It's like, now I got to handle it. Totally my fault. Poor baby. She's a dog. They do that, right? You have to show my shirt. All right. This is, it's a shop shirt from Two Chicks Quilting in Ganado, Texas. It says Friends, Fabric, and Fun. So I met a lady here who actually used to live in Ganado as a child. So that's kind of cool. Now she lives in Galveston. You meet all kinds in these RV parks. It's just so much fun. Yesterday, when we were talking about the binding finish, which I did finish the binding. I took time yesterday after we finished up. I just sat at the machine for another 35 minutes and finished up that machine binding on how to build a scarecrow quilt, which is huge, and got it all done. So that was good. But I was talking about Bernie. Dave's dog got into Chinese hot sauce. Not good. Bernie, who was in my Thursday Embroidery Essentials class with Lisa Shaw in San Antonio last week. And I mentioned the sample that she had brought me to show me that new binding finish method. And this is it. I said, Bernie, did you make this for me? She said, yes. And it was all to show me how to finish that binding using that little house folding method. And I just thought that was so incredibly sweet. She took a bunch of scraps, sewed them together, took some scrap binding and put it on and said, here, let me show you. She went to all that effort to share her knowledge with me. And I just thought that was so incredibly kind. And you have to love it when people take time to teach you things, right? She didn't have to do that. She could stand there and try to explain it. And I'd be going, what? I don't get it. I need to see it. But she went to that trouble. So thank you, Bernie. You are a dear. You are a true dear. It was sweet. Karen says, how sweet was that? Yeah. So anyway, that's what she used to show me. So there was a lady in my class on Saturday, which was our stitch artist class. Old girl shows up with a Mac, not a MacBook, a Mac, plops it on the desk. And she is sitting there doing Embrilliant's Stitch Artist. So obviously she digitizes, or she wants to digitize. And hold on, coffee time. Hold 1 second. So I saw somebody mention that I did not put the info for Liberty Laser USA in. You couldn't find it yesterday. Right before we started, I changed the title of this video and added that email link in there where you can reach him. He has, it's Dave Sargent and his, and Francine. They have an Etsy shop. Now, if I put the link to the Etsy shop, I'm going to get a commission on that because that's how that works since I'm an affiliate for Etsy. I don't want to do that. So if you guys want to go, you can go to Liberty Laser USA and look at their Etsy shop, or I just put their Gmail and you can reach out to them through Gmail and do that. I put their email address there. Okay. They are a small business and Etsy takes a commission, and then mine on top of that. I don't have any control over that, you guys, because of how it links. It's automatically going to give me a commission. I don't want to do that. I don't want to cut into their cut. So I just wanted to let you guys know that I did pop that below today's video. Didn't have a chance. I'll do it for yesterday's too. Hold on. So back to the lady. You're traveling to the Keys in your RV, Kim? Oh, wonderful, wonderful. We went down there in this RV 2022 and we stayed at the Sugarloaf KOA. It's fantastic. Fantastic. Not inexpensive, but cheaper than a hotel for sure. So, all right. So the lady who showed up to the Embroidery Stitch Artist class with a Mac, she needs the big screen. And if you're going to be digitizing, big screens are helpful. So I'm thinking everybody there completely understands embroidery. No. And she says, we were talking about in the hoop projects. And she said, what's in the hoop? And I was just like, oh, some people don't understand in the hoop. Some people don't, because I think when people think about embroidery digitizing, they think about this. I'm going to get a towel or shirt or a onesie or whatever. And this is something Carolyn made for me from Jelly Rolls to Go in Colorado Springs. And this is an Anita Good design. And she made this for me. And so she just popped a towel into the hoop. She just took an embroidery design, put it in the machine, and stitched this out. And this is just a regular embroidery design. This is not considered in the hoop. The terminology in the hoop comes from being able to create like a pouch or a notebook cover. Debbie White had a notebook cover there. Yeah, Sugarloaf, KOA. Yeah, that's where we stayed. The Sugarloaf, because Sugarloaf is one of the keys. It's Sugarloaf, KOA. That's the third year. That's where you're going, Kim? Yay! I'm telling you what, that is a fantastic, it's one of the best KOAs I've ever stayed at. And we try to stay in KOAs. We're in a KOA right now. Yeah, wonderful, wonderful, beautiful, fantastic pool, entertainment, everything. Great. Anyway, so this is just a straight embroidery design. You're taking an embroidery design, you're putting it on an object and you're embroidering on it, whether it's a shirt or a ball cap or a towel or whatever. And in the hoop design, oh, Patricia has a really good definition there. She says it's construction, not embellishment. Good. That's really good. Let me highlight that so everybody can see that. Oh, missed it. Sorry, y'all. It goes by so fast here. Y'all are chitty chatty. Okay. It's construction, not embellishment. Thank you, Patricia. That's a fantastic way and quick way to describe in the hoop project. So that's what I was going to do today. I know it's not Embroidery Thursday. I don't care. This is my channel. I did not bring one thing to stitch today, this weekend, except for embroidery. So I'm in the middle of making the Kimberbell hopping down the bunny trail bench pillow. And if you are brand new to machine embroidery or a beginner and you've heard of Kimberbell, maybe you haven't seen it. If you're going to start your embroidery journey, I really want to encourage you to begin with those. So Kimberbell and Juju, both are designs by Juju, are very, very good with instructions. But with Kimberbell, they go way into the weeds of exactly what you need to do and when and what step and what thread color and how to cut your fabric. And they get really, really down into it. And that way you are going to be able to know when to change your thread, what color to change your thread to, what kind of stabilizer you need to use. Most embroidery designs don't go that far into it. And so I always encourage, if you are brand new to machine embroidery and you want to do something like a mug rug, that's a perfect beginner in the hoop project. Start with Kimberbell, and Kimberbell is known for in the hoop projects. So I want to give you an example of, let me see if I can pull up. I had this pulled up last night. I wanted to do the Kimberbells. I put it on my desktop. I wanted to show you an example of their instructions so that you would be able to know exactly like what we're going to do today. We're going to make a bunny today for this. So let me share my screen with you. And let me go to the window is what I need. And then if I can find it, here we go. This is it here. Okay. So here we are. This is the embellishments for the bunny felt friend. Okay. So it's going to tell you what size fabric you need. This is a freestanding little puffy bunny made out of felt with some puffy foam. So you're going to get the inner ears. It tells you need a piece this big, how much embroidery felt you need. You need 2 pieces that big. And then the flexi foam. It tells you what type of stabilizer to use. And Kimberbell has their own if you want to use those. It tells you how to hoop your stabilizer. And then it tells you which embroidery file to use. And it gives you baby step by baby step. And right here, these little gray boxes with the lines through them, those are your thread colors. And this means it doesn't matter what thread color you use. Okay, that means it doesn't matter. It's not going to show. And then they give you pictures step by step by step to tell you when and what to do. And these numbers right here correspond to the stitch order number that you are seeing on your embroidery screen. Okay, so right here, it has a little eyeball. You want to stitch the background tack down trimming line. That means you're going to see this. You're going to see that little thing. And then it tells you don't trim the felt. It highlights it. And then it says switch to pink. Okay. And you're going to go through this. And you're going to stitch the eyes and come on through. So this is what we're going to end up with, is this adorable little bunny right here. So the instruction, and when you first get a Kimberbell, that's page 30. I'm just going to stick with that. When you first get this and you start at page 1, I mean, you just know every little thing that is going to happen. Okay. So, great instructions there. I have been to the Kimberbell studios, and Kim Christopherson, who is the owner, she and her husband Ryan gave me a tour throughout all of their studios to show the development of how these designs happen, and then all of the stitching. They have a ginormous room with every single brand of home embroidery machine, and they stitch out all of their designs on every single one of those machines, multi-needle and flatbed, to make sure that whatever you're using, it's going to work. And they do that before they launch. So there's a lot of R&D, research and development, that goes into the very professional operation, very professional. Also, if you're going to be doing some of these, like tomorrow when we do Embroidery Thursday, is tomorrow Thursday? Yes. Tomorrow when we do Embroidery Thursday, they have background quilting designs, and I'm going to show you guys that too for the rest. So this is going to be the freestanding bunny. So we're going to talk about that again tomorrow as well. So I have linked to these things below, and I want to show you if you want to get this. Now, Kim is a twin. Her sister is Chris, and Chris owns My Girlfriend's Quilt Shop, which is just down the road on Wolfpack Lane in Logan, Utah. Okay. And Chris's shop, you walk in the door and it just screams fun, total fun. You walk in, everything is so much fun. I just love it. So Kimberbell has kind of changed their things so that now all that they sell are from the Kimberbell website are background quilting designs. But if you want to get the pillow, and they have everything so that no matter what it is that you're stitching, you're going to be able to buy everything in one spot and you can get it all together. So they have the CD, and this tells you these are all the designs. You don't get this at Kimberbell, you get this at quilt shops, but I'm giving you an online source if you want to. A lot of quilt shops carry a lot of Kimberbells, so just letting you know. They have an embellishment kit, and the embellishment kit is going to give you, like for what we're using today, you're going to get the puffy foam. Okay, these are my mushrooms that I made the other day. You're going to get the felt. So here's the gray felt we're going to make the bunny out of. And you get all the cuteness that you need to be able to make these things. And then and they have stabilizers and all of that. Now, but the link that I have below the video, if you want to do these, let me do another present and share screen. And I'm going to show you. This is at that's Kimberbell, My Girlfriend's Quilt Shop. And I just went there and searched bunny trail. And this is what you get. Okay. So here is the CD with all of the designs on it to make this whole big bench pillow. All right. Here is the embellishment kit. That's the foam I was just showing you in the gray felt. They have classes. So this is an in-store class, but if you can't make the in-store class, you can watch a class on how to make it. All right. And then we'll come down here. There is your fabric kit. Now I'm using my own fabrics, but you can get the fabric kit if you want. And then they also have thread kits. They have it in Glide and they have it in Hemingworth thread. So whatever you want to use. All right. So I just want to show you, these are the resources that you can do to make this yourself. This is from My Girlfriend's Quilt Shop, and I have links to this below in the description box. Okay. So that's where they have fantastic pre-order sales. They sure do, Diana. I really, really enjoy that. And we're going to do a cowboy one coming up for Christmas, a pillow. And I'll get that linked when we get ready to do that. Do I use sticky hoop from Dime or the snap hoop? Reba wants to know. I've never used a sticky hoop. I'm good. I use snap hoop, but today I'm using a traditional hoop. I didn't bring all my stuff with me. So, you know, embroidery in the hoop projects are so much fun. You get something that you can use season after season, and it's definitely something to keep you busy. And if you are an embroiderer and if you're just starting, I really, really recommend it. If you get other designs, they'll tell you, you know, the instructions. They'll say, put this in your hoop, put this, put that, put this, put that, and they'll tell you. But Kimberbell really goes into the weeds, and it's great. So, all right. I want to get to stitching this. So you saw the instructions talked about water-soluble stabilizer. There's all different kinds of water-soluble stabilizer. And what I'm going to use is something called Pellon's 541 Wash and Gone. You can pick this up at Walmart. It's hanging on the wall in their fabric area. Okay. And this gets made in a 4x4 hoop. And I'm going to do a traditional 4x4 hoop. And I have thread. I have bobbin thread. This design, because you're going to see it. Yeah, last night was fun. I needed a bobbin to make my own. And what is going on here? And I had to undo the last little bit of a bobbin to make my own. So if you have on those designs where you need to make your own bobbin, let me see, what did I do with it? It was right here. So the bobbin thread, I have white bobbin thread in here now. This is light gray bobbin thread. Okay, so I made my own bobbin for that last stitch because you're going to see it. You're going to see it from the back or from the front. So you will see it from the back when it all gets stitched together. So you want to use a bobbin of the same color. Okay. Also, if you have a brother or baby lock machine, I don't know if the other brands do it. You guys can pop in the chat and let me know what they do. Okay, so I'm using a 70 weight pre-wound dime bobbin. Dime is Designs and Machine Embroidery. They are in the process of being purchased by OESD, which is Oklahoma Supply and Design. Wonderful company. So inside of your bobbin case, if you're new, okay, you seasoned embroiderers, y'all know this. On brother and baby lock machines, there will be a purple dot on the inside of the bobbin case. Okay. Or you may have an extra bobbin case with a purple dot. The purple dot is, it has a stronger tension than the case without the dot. Why? Because this gray bobbin, I made it from my 40 weight regular embroidery thread. Okay, so this is the thicker thread. This is not what I traditionally used in the bobbin, and I'm not going to switch out the bobbin cases when I do this. It'll be fine. Okay, but a 70 weight bobbin is a lighter thread. Okay, it's much lighter. So you get a tiny bit, this is a standard embroidery bobbin. So you get a tiny bit more tension in the case with the blue dot. It's just a convenience thing to keep you from having to switch out your bobbin cases. And now I need to put this back and make sure I put it back fine. And I'm glad I did this last night because I got in here and pulled out the bobbin case. Y'all, I found a bunch of dust bunnies in there. Oh my, I'm a bad embroidery machine mama for sure. I was bad mama all the way around yesterday with the dog and the bobbin. It's bad. Also, you can get cones of thread as opposed to spools. I'm going to use this tomorrow on the other one. And then I like those boxes that Kimberbell puts out of thread. Got tails everywhere here. I use them for my travel threads. So I put all the colors in that I was going to need and did that. So the dust bunnies were hiding until Easter. Yeah, I know, Debbie. That's funny. I'm going to put this back on here. Now, this machine right here is the Brother NQ3700D. This one has Disney on it. Its sister is the NQ3550W. This is my travel machine. Her name is Gypsy because she travels around. And the NQ3550W is less expensive than this one because it does not have Disney on it. So if you are looking to save, if you're going to buy a brother machine and you're looking to save a few dollars, then look for one, a comparable machine to a Disney that doesn't have it. Okay. And if they make one, that will save you a few bucks. So it'll actually save you a bunch of bucks. I didn't have the option of the 3550W when I got this one. So let me see. This is the 3550W is the exact, that's the machine I got for my, at the time, 10-year-old granddaughter. Okay. And she's running that thing like the wind. She just got an order to make 12 aprons to, you know, embellish stuff on the apron. And I think that's wonderful. So she's a little entrepreneur taking after her Grammy. Let me see. Okay. I'm going to get this thing threaded real quick. Now if you remember when I showed you those Kimberbell instructions, it showed that there were thread, you know, stitches that did not have any color in them. It was a box with little gray lines through it. It doesn't matter what color you use. So what I like to do to make my life easy is I go through the instructions and I looked, let me see here. Libby Gay, you looked at Scan and Cut yesterday and the price for the 325 was $7.49. The price for the 330 is $10.49. Are these prices reasonable? Yes, that is market price for those. Now, that's a great comparison right there. The 325 and the 330D are absolutely identical in every way, except that the D means there's Disney designs on it. Okay. So you're going to, the 325 and the 330D, that's the only difference between them. That's it. Promise. Okay. So that'll save you some bucks if you don't need the Disney. See, that's handy. Now, if you have baby grands, then you need the Disney, probably, right? You probably do. But that's a great example of it. Okay. Alrighty. So I'm going to do this. Whoop. Yeah, the higher end on those Scan and Cuts, 225 and higher can scan a 24-inch mat, and then the 325 and the 330 have the My Connection feature that allow it to talk to brother embroidery machines, brother sewing and anyway, combo machines that have the My Connection feature as well. You don't get that on those lower end. So I have the ability to do that. I don't do it. All right. So here's the 541 Wash and Gone. And you guys have seen, may have seen water solubles that are clear looking. They might look like saran wrap. That's a topper. Or Glad Press and Seal. Those are called toppers for fabrics with high naps. I'm not going to use that today. Then you can have really, really strong ones. This is a fibrous. This is called a fibrous water soluble. So I'm going to fold mine in half because we've got some pretty good decorative stitching. It's not just like a blanket stitch or something. I just want to make sure I've got enough. And on your hoop, you're going to have a little arrow or some sort of mark or something to say, this is the top. Let me pull my little mat over here. Put this towel down. And I'm just going to hoop this. You're not going to be able to see it. You barely kind of keep track here and see what I'm doing. So, yeah, I'll give you, there you go. So I'm just going to loosen this up a little bit. Okay. Fold it in half to give me 2 layers and lay it on top there. And I want to make sure I've got about 1 inch or so all the way around. And then where's my outer ring? So on the outer ring, there's also a little notch or a mark or something that will be for the top. And I have a little mark on here, but this one has an arrow. So that's the top. I'm going to pop the top in first. Make sure everything's nice and flat here. And then just recess it there, put that in and screw it in. Very, very simple. What internet do I use when we're in the RV, Chris? We got Starlink at home, which allows me the upload speed I need to be able to stream to you guys. And I got an email from Starlink that said, hey, we're doing a deal. If you want to get the mobile, it was a deal since we already had the residential package, we could get the mobile for $30 a month. So that's what we did. That's what we did. We got the, so I'm using Starlink. We have a little antenna right out in the yard out there. And it's great. It's great. It's really great. I don't know where here's my screwdriver. You guys need to go ahead and use your screwdrivers to make sure that your hoops don't pop. All right. Don't want that to happen. There we go. All right. Yeah. So we're using Starlink. All right. I'm going to put this in here. If you are brand new to embroidery, when you remove the hoop, be sure to put your hand on the arm to stabilize it. You don't want that arm moving back and forth accidentally. If you shove the hoop in like this and the arm goes with it, you need to remove the hoop. Well, before you do that, look at what stitch count you are on and write it down so you remember your stitch count. And then you need to remove the hoop, turn the machine off, turn it back on, bring your design up again. Okay. And let me see, pop that in there. And then use your needle plus minus to jump back to your stitch count because you will have messed up the registration. Also, another little tip, the thread you are using. So this is a cross wound spool as opposed to a flat round spool, straight wound. Cross wound spools like to go from bottom to top, up and over. So I have this spool. You can see the thread. It's up and over the back of the machine. And I'm just using a little cup. I got this from a viewer. My little happy camper cup. This is my thread stand. And it works great. All right. Okay. I'm going to put my foot down. I'm going to thread the machine. Perfect. There. Okay. If you're using a straight wound bobbin, you can lay that in the reservoir, the little space here, and let it pull off sideways. Don't ask me why. I don't know, but it works. I'm just telling you. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up my design. Sorry, you guys. Oh, I don't need the USB. I put it in the machine. There's my bunny and set. And when you're doing a pre-digitized design, you can just hit edit end and go from there because everything is already I know everything is already set for you. You don't need to do any editing with threads or any. I mean, if you want to move it around a little bit, you can, but you don't have to. I'm just going to jump into the embroidery mode and I am all ready to go. So if you're ready, I'm ready. And my button is green. It's ready for me to go. And it's going to stitch the placement line for the puffy foam. I've got my little trim scissors here. And I've got some other, these are for little snips, but these are good scissors for trimming in the hoop. And if you're going to be doing embroidery, you want to make sure to get a pair of scissors that are curved, okay? So that you can get close to the thread without cutting it. So, okay, I don't need to do that now. I need to put my foam down. Got to make my bunny. I need my foam. Here it is. So I'm just going to place this. Let's see. I'm kind of stingy on my foam. So I'm going to just make sure everything is covered and make it work and eke it out because I'm going to try to save this. Why? I just do. I just do. Not like I don't have plenty of foam at home. but I'm going to do this. Okay. So now on this machine, unlike my Luminaire, I have to put my foot down, and now it's going to do the tack down line for the phone. So, oh, are they, Diana? She says the new Kimberbell double curved scissors are fantastic. I'm going to have to get a pair then. Now, watch what happens to the hoop when this finishes. I found this out from Lisa Shaw. So this is going around twice to make sure it's stitched down really well because we're going to cut. Okay. Now watch. It's going to move and move back. When you are stitching on a multi-needle machine and the bobbin is in a vertical position in that arm, okay, the thread doesn't get tangled after a cut. If you are stitching in a flatbed machine, the way the trim happens, if this hoop doesn't move well out of the way and drag the project with it, the thread tail down below underneath on the bottom of the hoop, the hoop has to move far away to get that thread tail out of the bobbin case, and then it'll come back. Otherwise, you're going to get a bird's nest every time. That is why that happens. And Lisa Shaw explained that to us. Okay. So here's my little bunny. You guys can see that. See how easy that is? Okay. So I'm going to just trim up. Now, don't remove the project from the hoop. And I'm just going to trim around and go around the outside. Now, here's a little tip. If you are, oh, I forgot to say, always, when your project is out of the hoop and you're going to be working on it to trim away stuff, put it on a firm, flat surface. Don't ever put it a lot. I've seen it a lot. People will put it on their lap and they'll work right here and do that. Don't do that, because the odds of you either popping the hoop completely open or at least shifting it a little bit, if it's not super tight or whatever, you can screw up the registration bad. And then it'll turn out terrible and you have to start all over. So I just don't recommend that. Always work on a firm, flat surface and rotate the hoop like I'm doing here. And if you are right-handed, trim clockwise. That gets the lowest blade of the scissor closest to the stitches. If you are left-handed, trim counterclockwise. You're using left-handed scissors, okay? You want the lowest blade of the scissor closest to your stitching. So I'm just trimming this out. We're not going to have any big, heavy satin stitches on this one. Okay. Now, if you are obsessive, as I know some stitching crafters can be, and you don't like all the tails on the back of your project, you can, because there's long tails on this, you can trim the tails, don't trim the knots. We have a birthday. Is there a birthday cake in the kitchen? Oh, I love that. I told on Bonnie's husband last night at the rally, he had 2 cupcakes. He had a lemon and a chocolate. I didn't have any. I was trying to be good. Dinner last night was stuffed baked potatoes. They were huge. It was great. Thank you, Idaho. All right. So look how much puffy foam I have left. Yay. All right. So it's not super perfect. See all my little, it's fine because it's going to be completely covered with felt. Okay. If you're embroidering with puppy foam, do you raise the foot height? No, Vicki, you don't need to do that. All right. The next, now watch what I do here. I'm putting in this sliding hoop. I'm going to put my hand on the arm, push it in, and lock it down. Just make sure that arm, you're not shoving that arm, okay? It's going to help you. So the next stitch is the placement line for the felt. Put my foot down. There we go. We only have 10 stitches on this one. Let me get my felt. Here's my little buttons that are going to go, the embellishments. You get the cute little buttons with it. Isn't that adorable? Oh my gosh, those are so cute. And here's the green grass that goes along the bottom. See how it's got little jagged grass edges? cute. So cute. And there's a zipper too. You get a zipper. It has an envelope back. You get a zipper. Very cool. All right. Let's cover that bunny. Now, this goes on the front and the back. So don't put it right in the middle because you need two pieces. So I'm just going to, that's why they give you the trim sizes for your stuff. So I'm going to put this half and make sure I can feel the outside edges of the bunny. And I've got plenty left over here for the other side. They say to tape it down. I live on the edge, so I'm not taping it. But if you do tape it, Kimberbell makes tape. I just got some, it says 3M. This is just paper medical tape. I got some from Amazon, and y'all, it had the worst stink to it. I don't know what company that came from, but it was bad. I still have it. I'm not even throwing it away, but the smell is terrible. Okay. So this is the tack down for the bunny. Now, when this finishes, don't trim it. Just leave it be. I'll trim it when I get ready to put it on the back, and then we're going to use the tape. All right. Now, what is next is the placement line for the ears. So I need to change my thread. Whoop. See how easy this is? You just follow the instructions. Step by baby step. Okay. You're wondering if your cord, if it was soft and, I missed your thing. Let me see here. Yes, Michelle, I can see you chatting. Wondering if it was soft and stable or something exclusive to Kimberbell. Oh, I see. Were you having issues? Okay. Okay. All righty. So the way I change my thread is exactly like I do. I get myself a nice, good long tail up here. Give myself some room to tie off and switch it out from the back. Let me take this gray. If you want to, you can pop the design into embroidery software like Embrilliance, and you can use the placement line for fabric. It's called applique position in the software. You can use the placement line and create an SVG file, which is a cut file, and then send that file to the scan and cut. And you can pre-cut your applique pieces. I only have 2 little applique pieces in this one, the insides of the ears, and I'm not going to worry about that. So put it down, get it out of the way. Okay. Pull that out. So now we're going to do the placement line for the ears. Also, you get in the embellishment kit, you get a little piece of clear vinyl that goes over your yellow rain boot. How cute is that? My goodness. See how far that moves? All right. Christina, if you're looking for a sewing machine only for quilting, I highly recommend that Brother PQ 900 or 1600. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm trimming the tails on top to get this. Now, like on my PE 770, my little prodigal machine that came home, my original one, it did not trim the jump stitches. Okay. So you do want to trim your jump stitches, which means it stitched around in a section, it stopped, and it jumped to another section and trimmed around like did the other ear. You want to be sure to cut those if your machine does not do that for you before you go to the next step. So be sure to cut those. All right, I need pink fabric. Pink fabric. Yay. Let me see. I just needed a tiny little piece. So I don't have any standard scissors with me here. I do. They're in a Yazzie bag on the other side of the room. So I'm going to hold off here. Yasmita called me last night from Australia. Yasmita Magan from Yazzie Bags. She is coming up with a bag custom for the easy stacks for quilting pieces. I'm so excited about that. Do I want to use one piece of pink or two? Let me see. I cannot see the gray through here. I'm going to use just the one. If you can see your background fabric through your applique fabric, consider 2 pieces of applique fabric. Just layer them up. That might help. Tape. I had it. This is a tiny piece and I don't want my fingers near it, so I'm going to use my tape. Okay. Yes, Embrilliance will save. Well, actually, Embrilliance saves to the SVG file format, but you can upload that into Canvas. Well, yeah. So your Scan and Cut will recognize SVG files. The Scan and Cut saves to FCM. They are the same. FCM and SVG are the same. I can't see my ears. I'm just going to lay this down over the whole head and cross my fingers. The beautiful thing about applique, Mary, my email address, it's at the bottom of every single one of my videos. It says contact me, and I have my email and my mailing address and all of that. It's powertoolswiththread@outlook.com. All right. I'm going to stitch down some ears. You see my ears? Stitching it twice. I need to trim around it. That moves far, doesn't it? Cute. All right. I'm going to trim these around, these little bitty, let me show you. Your little bitty earpieces. Pretty cute. So also when I do this, I'm going to trim the back side. I'm going to cut this felt in half so that I can get it ready to go on the back of the hoop, which is the final stitch. And that is such a cute little thing. Oh my goodness. And you guys, if you're brand new to embroidery, there are so many fabulous in the hoop digitizers out there. If you want some adorable stuff, I know I talk a lot about Designs by Juju, who makes great stuff. I love her little coffee design she put out this morning. Check out Planet Applique. Planet Applique has, you can make stuffies, little stuffed animals. Betty Boop, who's in here, that's my quilty buddy, Lisa. She makes those things and they turn out fantastic. You buy the joints and all that. That's not me. I don't do that. She buys the joints and the little eyes and she makes all these adorable things. You can go to Creative Kiwi. You can go to Sweet Pea down in Australia. They just have, you can make backpacks. What you do is you're just making parts and pieces in the hoop and then you sew them together with a domestic machine. Now, I'll tell you, if you have a small embroidery hoop, like a 5x7, so Kimberbell sizes all of their stuff so it can be stitched in a 5x7 hoop. And anything that they do larger than 5x7, they will make it, except for their background quilting, they will make it so that you can do multiple hoopings. They give you the alignment lines to unhoop and rehoop. They do that. But if you're brand new to this and you only have a 5x7 hoop and you go looking at those other places and you say, ooh, I want to make the backpack, you're going to get hoop envy. I'm just telling you. And there's no cure for it, but you buy a new machine. You cannot and don't, please don't spend a ton of money on designs thinking you can size them down in Embrilliance. Don't do it because you're actually playing with stitches. You are not playing with graphics. All right. And when stitches recalculate, they get wonky and you're going to have a bad outcome. So I just don't recommend that. All right. I'm going to use my little bitty snips here. I got a couple of fuzzies. You just don't want to do that. Perfect. Okay. So here's my bunny ears. Ta-da. Aren't they cute? Oh, let me trim this up too. And I got asked yesterday how the pool is coming. We break ground, I think, next Thursday. Yay. All right. I'm getting a new pool, y'all. So I'm 61. Here's the thing. I'm 61. And, oh, for the grandkids? No, the grandkids are in Colorado. I'm not building a pool for the grandkids. I'm building a pool for me. So, why? Well, okay, the next stitch is the decorative stitch around the outside of my ears. We had a hot tub for 20 plus years, and I need it for my back. My L5 is in 2 separate pieces. All right. On my decorative stitching right here, the tail is sticking up. I'm going to trim that off right now. So, there we go. Don't need any of that in my decorative stitching. So, the hot tub finally died. Can't get parts for it anymore. And so I want a spa. And there's this new thing. It's called a spool. It's a spa and a pool. It's a pool that's very small. Like mine's only 10 by 15. It's little bitty. It's going to have a sun deck where you're in that much water. You can sit in one of those low chairs. I'm all over that. I love that. And it's going to have a bench seat in it. It's an in-ground. And they're going to blow gunite and all that. And it goes around. That bench seat has those spa jets in the back. Fantastic. We also have to get a propane tank. We're going to bury that. Oh, that came out so cute. What's next? I need the pink again for the cheeks. Here we go. So I've got a long tail on this. I don't want it stitched in. I'm going to let it get to going. I'm going to stop it. Raise the foot and trim that tail. I let it knot itself off in the back. Okay. There. You want clean embroidery like that. So, oh, you're going to go back and rewatch how to put it into the hoop? Really simple. Do it on a flat table. Yeah. So anyway, this is only going to be 10 by 15. I'm going to put a pergola over it so that I don't get any sun cancer and skin cancer because I'm prone to it. I had a big chunk cut out right there. But so the deal is, we just had a friend of ours, a very dear friend of ours for 20 plus years. He passed away. He was only 70. And my son had to go visit. He's a pastor in Colorado Springs. And he went to a conference in California. And on his way back, before he even got home, he had to go to the hospital to visit one of his parishioners. And he said, yeah, Mom, he's 77 and he's laying in the bed and he's not even watching TV and he's not playing with his phone. I need to change my thread. And it's so sad. He said, I think he's just waiting to pass away, you know, and it's so sad. So the next time I talked to him, I said, you know, when he's 40, my son is 40. I said, when you hear 77, you think that's almost 4 decades away. When I hear 77, that's 16 years because I'm 61. My husband's 65. And I said, oh my, you know, they say time goes faster as you age, right? And so I thought, you know what? Life's short by the pool. We used to have an 18 by 33, 4-foot above ground pool for water volleyball. And we used it a lot. And my husband and I are in the pool every day in the summer. We love it. We're water babies. And that's something that's important to us. And so I said, okay, we don't use this pool anymore. the big pool because we hang out in a little corner that's under the shade of a tree. That other one was just way too big. So he took it down over the last 2 weeks. He and the neighbor took that big pool down. I'm changing my thread to black for eyes and whiskers and a smile. And we ordered this new spool, which is going to be smaller, in ground, and perfect for us. Y'all, life's short. Buy the pool. Because at our age, you start going, you know what? This is why I told him to retire too. Realistically, you know, you've only got another good 10, 15 years in you, health-wise, hopefully. Good Lord willing and the creek don't rise, right? If you're young, you're like that. So y'all, I went into my 401k. I said, I'm doing it. That's what it's for. I could drop over dead tomorrow. I'm good. We're good. We can swing it. If you can swing it, do it. I'm doing it. Life's short. Buy the machine. The kids can have the house, right? That's the way I feel. My 401k is for me. It's a TSP through the thrift savings plan through the military. So, you know, that's a little tidbit you didn't want to know, you didn't ask for, but I gave it to you. That's why we're doing the pool. It's something we use. It's something we love, and we're going to do it. Yep. If you can afford it, do it. Mel says, go for it. All right. We just have a few more whiskers left. So, married 74 in September and still going strong. Amen, sister. Good for you. God bless. What is my pool called again? It's called a spool. S-P-O-O-L. That's the thing they call it. It's a spa and a pool. It's not the one that's big, long, and skinny that you can swim in, like a Michael Phelps has those. That's not it. All right, y'all. I've got a couple of jump stitches. When you have things that are really tiny close together, the machine automatically will not cut those jump stitches. This machine does cut them. So there's my little face. See that tiny little stitch behind the eyes? In between the eyes? Embroidery software generally does not automatically cut those, even if you tell it to. Okay, I'll clean that up in a minute. All right, so here's the back, right? Nobody wants to see that. So we're going to take our other little piece of felt. This is an in the hoop project. And I'm just going to put it right over the back. So I will take you guys out and show you the build as we get going. I'm very excited. We're hoping to be done in the end of June. Oh, our hour is up, but I'm going to keep going if you want to. If you have to leave, thank you so much for spending your time with me. And I will see you back here for Embroidery Thursday. So I know some of you at 8 o'clock have things to do, and I can appreciate that. But I'm going to finish up my bunny. We're going to have a pool party. Oh, good. Vicky says she'll bring the margaritas. Atta girl. I love it. That'll be fun. You guys are hilarious. Okay. So this is very characteristic of in the hoop projects. You will do work on the back, right? So there we go. I'm going to pop that in. And now before I do that, I need to change out my bobbin thread, because you're going to see this from the back. And I'm not going to mess with the, well, you have to have fun. Yeah. You have to have fun as you know, I worked my whole life. The government got my best years. You worked your whole life. It's my turn. I told my son, I'm spending your inheritance. He said, that's fine, Mom. You enjoy you. He's so good. Love him. Love him to death. All right. And now I'm changing my thread color on top. So the bobbin and the top are the same. Okay. Now there's a cool trick to getting rid of, I didn't get a Q-tip going here with a little cup of water. Let me see. I don't know if we're going to need it. So I'm pulling through my thread, a gray thread. Put this in the trash. Okay. I love doing this. I love machine embroidery. So much fun. Yeah, you guys hit like if you're enjoying this. Something to do, having your coffee. If you're watching on your TV, grab your channel remote and hit the thumbs up button, please. The channel up is a thumbs up button for me. Did I say thumbs up button? Channel up button. That's what I meant. All right, here we go. So now what it's doing is a final decorative stitch all the way around the bunny, and it's going to be pretty on the back too. Stitch that down in. Looks good. Off she goes. Oh, good. There's birthday cupcakes in the kitchen. Thank you, Scotty Dog. I appreciate that. Is that just an embroidery machine? No, Crystal Dragon, Brita. This is a sewing and embroidery combo. The embroidery only version of this is I think it's the 1700E, the Brother 1700E. I believe that machine is a 6x10 hoop like this one, and embroidery only. So this is, I brought the embroidery arm with me on this one. Your coffee's done finally, Bernadette. Okay. I love embroidery too. Do you have to use the puppy foam? No, Kay, you do not. And you guys, if you don't have this puppy foam, you can use Soft and Stable, or Bosel makes a foam. You can use foam that might have a fusible on one side, because you're not ironing this. So it's fine, just whatever you have. You can do that. Where do I put my machine when I'm traveling, Chris? So this, I got the luggage with this machine. All done. Beep, beep. All done. Okay. Aw, that is so adorable. I have the luggage with it, and all right. So and I bring it all in here, and it sits between the back of the dining room chair that's opposite from me right here, and there's a recliner, and there's a little hole right there. I put it right there on the floor. So here's the bunny from the front, and here's the bunny from the back. See how pretty that is on the back? Nice. I think I have. I'm going to pop it out of the hoop now. Okay. Let me get this Yazzie bag. Hold on. I think I have a pair of good shears in here. In this, I've got another Yazzie bag right here. Oh. So for those of you that are beginner embroiderers, I hope, I was able to give you some good tips and tricks and thoughts about, yes, I do have a good pair of shears in here. Not to be afraid of this, okay? Why did I choose a thinner thread for the back? So the tension, that's a great question. The tension on machine embroidery is different than regular embroidery, regular sewing. And the back of an embroidery project usually looks like, if you do, Pam, you ordered some Yazzie bags last week. I hope you used my link and my coupon code, because I have a coupon for 10% off of those. Just FYI, if you need more. So the tension on machine embroidery is different than standard sewing machines. So you want a lighter weight thread so that it pulls. On standard sewing machines, you're looking for a balanced stitch between the two fabrics, okay? On an embroidery machine, you want to see the top thread on the back with the bobbin on the bottom. You don't want to see, you're not looking for a balanced stitch. It's totally different. All right, I'm going to trim this. So we got the outer line. See the outer stitch line? Remember we did that one? That outer stitch line right there. Okay. I'm going to trim now on the outer stitch line. I don't have to guess. And I'm going to make that outer stitch line go away. And so that's cool. It's giving me a standard trim all the way around. This bunny sits inside of the yellow rain boot. It's very cute. Very, very cute. And because of the felt, I don't think we're going to need to get it wet to remove any of that wash away stabilizer. But if you do see any wash away stabilizer, you can take a wet paper towel and just rub the edge of it, and that will go away. I don't have my glasses on, y'all. I'm winging it here. I'm hoping I'm getting it right. I may have to do it a little bit more with some glasses. Okay, almost done. Coming around the body. See, now I cut counterclockwise, but in the hoop, I cut clockwise. It's just easier to do this like this. Oh, I can see my thread. I don't want to see my threads. That's not what I'm looking for. Oh, this is so adorable. I'll tell you what, you're going to go Kimberbell. You're going to get cuteness. Oh, this looks great. I got a thread I got to trim. Hold on here. Got those little tails on the back. Don't cut the knot, cut the tails. There we go. There's my in the hoop bunny. Isn't he cute? He's adorable. Yeah, Parker on the porch. That's another good one. Yeah. So does DBJJ have Easter background quiltings? Yes, absolutely. Sure does. So they sure do. You can go there and just look in their library and see and get what you want. Okay. The reason I went with the background quilting for this one, and I'll show you again, it's for cuteness. I will show you why. Let me stop that screen. I want to show you why I got the Kimberbell background quilting. And this is completely up to you. On the Kimberbell background quilting, on the borders of this pillow. So you're going to get lots of these designs. But see that with the hop and the little bunny feet? Oh my gosh, that is so cute. That little border right there, that's a continuous border. And then we have this is also going to be, all right, see that? That is so stinking adorable. And these designs right here are the same as the designs in the embroidery panels that get done. So this background quilting is unique. It's just so incredibly crazy cute. And I love it. So you're going to get tons of this. See the border? And you get all of these sizes. So that's what sold me on the sashing. It's for the sashing and the inner border. So, so simple rehooping instructions will show how you can quilt any border length you need. All right. Just adorable. But that's why I went with this, because it's compatible with the rest of the designs. That little flower design and the bunnies and all of that, it all works. It makes everything work together on the pillow. So yeah, you can see why I got that. That little hop, that's too cute. I just had to have it. So okay, you guys, thank you so much for spending your time with me. Give the video a thumbs up, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Subscribe if you'd like to spend more time together. I do this because of you. I just love hanging out with you guys, and I'm so productive. I had a lady write me the other day and say, or maybe she left a comment, and she said, I cannot believe how much I'm getting done when I start stitching when you come on. So that's what this is all about, is just to have some stitchy chat in the background. All right, you guys enjoy your day. I will see you again tomorrow. We're going to work some more on the hopping down the bunny trail bench pillow. We'll talk to you soon. You guys go sew something. Bye.